Hello everyone, this is Dan and this is the Napkin Academy, and I want to welcome you to our last session for Show and Tell, where we're going to be talking about something that I call the gift. And the simple idea is this: an extraordinary presentation is the best gift that we can give to our audience. People will absolutely appreciate it if we've taken the time to make sure that our presentation is extraordinary, but it is also the best gift that we can give ourselves. Let me share with you what I mean. Let's talk about a little drama. Does everyone remember the drama? You might recall that in Show and Tell we had our 4 essential storylines, and the drama was the one that went something like this. Here's today, and everything's going fine, but then something happens and all of a sudden the world starts to get bad and things look really bad and we end up at the bottom. But we decide that no, we're not going to let that be the end, so we find something in ourselves to power ourselves right back up. The most classic story of someone who stumbles and gets themselves back up. So let's tell a little bit of drama, and let's make this a drama about us. So there we are. We're at work, and as you can see, we're very happy, and we're typing away, we're drawing, we're doing our work, and great things are happening. And then our boss shows up. Here comes our boss into the room, and we're still continuing to work. That's fine. And then the boss says, "Hey, guess what? There's a presentation on Friday. You're giving it." And we say, I am? And our fingers stop typing. And we say to the boss, okay. The boss leaves the room, and we sit there thinking for a moment, I have to give a presentation on Friday? And then we totally panic because we have no idea what we would give a presentation about, and we are totally not ready. And by the way, we've got so much work to do that giving a presentation is the last thing that we have time to do, and we really don't want to do it because we hate giving presentations. Okay, so in our little drama, we went from this, and we are now down here in the bottom, because the rest of this week is going to be terrible, because this entire week we have to plan on giving this presentation for which we're not prepared and we don't want to give. Great. So there's our real life drama. Okay, well, down there in that pit of despair, we think for a moment, well, what is this really about? Okay, we've just been told that there's us over here and we've got an idea, and we're going to have to share it with a whole bunch of other people, and we're going to have to do it in a way that makes us look good, makes them understand what we're talking about, gets them excited, and makes sure that our idea becomes clear. Well, that sounds pretty complicated. How are we going to do all that? Well, guess what? There is a simple way. There is? Yes, there is a simple way. And it looks something like this. If we're just thinking about this week in front of us that we have to go ahead and give this presentation, I think we could break it down into 5 humps. The first one, we've already experienced that. That's the total panic of all of a sudden realizing, oh my gosh, I have to give this presentation. The next one, well, we're going to put that panic behind and we're going to study a little bit and prepare. And then what we're going to actually do is go ahead and create our presentation. And then we're going to go ahead and practice our presentation. And then on that 5th day, on Friday, we're actually going to present it. So look at this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bumps, and we've got 5 days of the week. So let's go ahead and look at our preparation as the days of the week. We're going to go through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to go from where we are today in a state of some panic to where we're going to be on Friday, when we're actually going to end up being just a little bit famous, because we're going to give a really nice presentation. So how are we going to get from here to there? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now, if we see those 5 bumps up here, we kind of look at it, we say, well, we could grab those, the ends of those, and sort of bend them around, couldn't we? Couldn't we bend those 5 humps around? And if we pull them tight enough, we'd get a beautiful little 5-pointed star. So let's roll with that for a moment. Let's imagine that we're going to look at our preparation of this gift of the presentation as a 5-pointed star, where we're going to start here, and we're going to go around from our panic, through a little bit of thinking, through a little bit of creating, through a little bit of preparing, through a little bit of delivering. Okay, well, let's go with that idea. That gives it some structure. So, for the rest of this time, what I want to share with you is 1 week for presentation fame. And by the way, this is a metaphor. I'm not saying that we're always going to do this in 5 days. This may take much, much more, or it may take less. But there are 5 steps that we're going to go through as we prepare for Presentation Fame. On Monday, we're going to start here. On Monday, we're going to panic. On Tuesday, we're going to study. On Wednesday, we're going to create. On Thursday, we're going to practice. And on Friday, we're going to be famous. But that doesn't end the week, does it? Because thankfully we also have Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday, let's not forget those. They're going to be our time for rest. So let's go through those 5 days of the week and think about, why is a presentation a gift? How do we turn a little bit of Monday panic into Friday famous? So let's start with Monday. All right, well, the boss came in and told us we're giving a presentation for which we're not prepared and we don't want to give anyway. So we have a quick morning panic session on Monday. But that leads us to a calm afternoon as we look openly at ourselves, our idea, and our audience. We might remember this: panic recedes instantly on contact with planning. How do we take ourselves from panic to calm? We start to make a bit of a plan. And that's where these 3 buckets, you might remember, come in. Our plan is very basic. We say, what is our idea that we're going to be talking about on Friday? Who am I, and how will I present myself on Friday? And who is my audience, and how will they respond to what I'm going to be sharing with them on Friday? The moment we just start to think through those 3 things discreetly, what is my idea, who am I, and who is my audience, any sense of panic we're not prepared washes away, because now we have a plan. Our second day then, Tuesday, is the day that we begin to really study. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on our idea in the morning and then spend the afternoon and the rest of the day collecting insights that flesh out that idea, refreshing and perhaps even reframing the truths that we know about our idea. So what does that mean? Well, you might remember we had our 3 buckets. So what we do is we put into our bucket of our idea all of the things, we just collect all the ideas and things we can think about our idea. It's this, it's that, I have these facts, I have this data. I put all of that in this bucket. And then I think about myself. Who am I? Am I an expert? Am I a newbie? Do I want to project confidence? Do I want to project uncertainty? Do I want to bring people with me, or do I want to be a boss? All of those things, I put those into my bucket about myself. And then I think about the things I know about my audience. Who are they? What motivates them? What's their background? What are they afraid of? How would they like to change? What are they expecting? What do they need? And I put those things into my audience bucket. And as I fill out those buckets, I'll start to see that a storyline, it's going to be very loose, it's going to be very messy, but a storyline begins to emerge. Here's what I'm going to talk about, here's who I'll be as I talk about it, and here's the people to whom I'll be sharing it. And out of that, we fill up those buckets on Tuesday. It's a lot of work that day because we're really thinking all of these ideas. Our idea, ourself, our audience. But at the end of the day, Tuesday, we will be ready to move on to our day of creation. Wednesday, known as Hump Day. Why is it called Hump Day? Because if you think about a week, Wednesday is the huge day in the middle. If we can make it past Wednesday, the rest of the week will be just fine. This is the day when we really roll up our sleeves and take our presentation and create it. Wednesday, the 3rd day of creation. Here we go. We're going to make our big push today as we first of all create our story Puma, our presentation's underlying messaging architecture, our big idea, the backbone of all of the main critical ideas I'm going to be sharing, the supporting legs, the details, the facts, the anecdotes, and the story that are going to flesh that out, and then the tail at the end. I map out my Puma, backbone, and details. And then, with my storyline tight, my Puma ready, I turn to the 6x6 pie to help me identify the simple pictures that I'm going to use to illustrate the key points throughout my Puma. And we all know the 6 pie very well by this point. When I'm going to be talking about who and what, I draw a portrait, how much I draw a chart, where I draw a map, when I draw a timeline, how I draw a flowchart, and why I draw my very simple visual equation. I use my 6x6 pie to tell me when I'm going to say this is the picture I will create, That is the picture I will put into my Puma at the relevant point to make a beautiful presentation. That's a lot of work that day. If Wednesday could last 3 days, we might need it, because this is when we're really doing all of this creative preparation. And then we've got it done. We've got our deck, and we believe that it's mostly ready to go. Well, now comes a day that many of us forget, and we cannot. Thursday, the day before the actual presentation, is our day of practice. And as we know from our last couple of sessions, our practice is as important for an extraordinary presentation as having a really great deck. Having a great deck doesn't count for anything if we haven't practiced it. Practice. This is rehearsal day. So what do? We go and we find a quiet room and we practice twice. And we might remember this is what we call the plugs out test. We don't fake our way through. We don't just slide through the slides of our PowerPoint and say, oh, here's where I'll say this and here's where I'll say that. No, what we do is we find a place that looks very similar to where we're actually going to be presenting, and we walk through our presentation slide by slide, hearing ourselves say everything that we're going to say. And it's very difficult, but we go through the pain of doing that so that we can do it a second time. Because the second time, it'll actually start to move pretty smoothly and pretty easily, and that's when we can actually start to pay attention to how are we likely to be perceived by the audience, how well is our story holding together. That's when we make little modifications to our presentation, and now we are ready. Which brings us, of course, to the last day of the week, Friday. And Friday isn't just a day of making the presentation. Friday is the day that, as the presenter, we're going to make ourselves a little bit famous. I mean, why not? Why not admit it? If we're going to get up on stage, which can be nerve-wracking, and we've put in these 4 days of work, we might as well stake a claim, take a little bit of credit for what we've done. This is our moment to shine, so let's go ahead and do it. This is showtime. We're ready. How do we know we're ready? Because we used our Puma and our 6x6 to create a great visual storyline. We know we're ready because we rehearsed with our plugs out test. Twice we've been through this thing and we know it well. And then we rested. The night before our presentation is not a night to go out partying. It's a night to take a rest, because now we get up there on stage, we're ready, we give our show, we respond, we work with our audience. We come to trust them, they come to trust us. It is a wonderful presentation and we all have a really fantastic time. And now we're done. That's all we needed to do. We went from Monday panic to Friday being a little bit famous. And let's not forget, of course, we've now got Saturday and Sunday to go ahead and lie down in the sun and take a little rest. Give ourselves a pat on the back and give ourselves a break. We did an awesome job, but you know what? Come Monday, we need this rest because we're going to have to do it all over again. Why? And this is what I mean by the gift of an extraordinary presentation, a gift to ourselves. Because there's a happy ending to this drama, and the happy ending says, on Monday, we're back in the office, feeling really good. And our boss comes in again, and the boss says, hey, that was an extraordinary presentation. You're awesome. Do you want to do it again? Our happy ending isn't the end, because our little star that we drew spins right back around again, and that's a good thing, because the gift that we give to ourselves by being an extraordinary presenter is the opportunity to do it again and get better each time. And we will find that there is nothing that is more powerful for our own professional success than our ability to give an extraordinary presentation. That's what I mean by the gift to us. If we have ever been given the opportunity to give a presentation and we said no because we were nervous or anxious or unprepared, we might want to rethink that. There are a couple of final thoughts I want to share with you about this idea of giving an extraordinary presentation. Number one, an important idea. To present is to lead. Remember what we talked about early on? What makes an extraordinary presentation? It's not flat. An extraordinary presentation is one that moves us and our audience up. It changes people. Well, you know what? Any time that we are someone who is initiating change, we are, by definition, a leader. Every time we make a presentation, it is our idea, it is ourselves, it is our audience. It is an opportunity to make change, which is an opportunity to lead, and everyone sees that. Which tells us, in order to continue to grow personally and professionally, I believe we should never turn down an opportunity to present. Given the chance to share an idea, our own or someone else's, with another group of people is always going to be a powerful experience. And whether we do poorly, whether our audience doesn't really love it, or whether we do really, really well and our audience really loves it and we love the idea, the act of presenting is always going to pay off, if in nothing else than in the practice, but more importantly in the lead and the ability to deliver our ideas. And the last thought, we've talked a lot about all sides of presenting, and I just want to share with you the thing that I've learned. It is going to be fun. No matter how we may think about presentations, whether we jump into them or whether we're terrified, the truth is, once we get comfortable being able to share our idea, there is just about nothing more fun that we can do. If we tell the truth, we tell that truth with a story, and we tell that story with pictures, we are going to have an extraordinary presentation. And that's it. That's the end of the show and tell lessons. And I want all of you to pat yourselves on the back. You've stayed with me through all of these lessons. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you all to print out your own diploma, fill it in with your name. This certificate was awarded, date and name, and let it not be known to all the world that you have passed the black belt lessons of being a visual thinker and a master of the presentation arts. You do have homework this week. It's very easy homework, because all I want you to do for your homework is find and print your diploma. Hey, thank you all for another great lesson. This is Dan signing off from the Napkin Academy, but don't go away. Now on our new platform, you can still submit your homework. Debbie, our community manager, is going to join you right now to show you exactly how to do that, and I really encourage you, do your homework. Okay, take it away, Debbie. See you soon.
We hope you enjoyed this Napkin Academy classic video. We've made it easier than ever to share your homework. After you've completed your homework and have a JPEG or PNG file saved on your computer, come back to this course. Once you're back here, scroll to the bottom of the screen, and in the comments box, you can add a comment. I'm just going to call this one My Homework. You can also add images by clicking on the Insert Edit Image button here. In the source box, click on the file. In the Images window, click on Upload, and then click on Add Files. This is going to take you to your computer where you can search for your images. I'm just going to search for mine in Pictures, and I'm going to choose this image here. You can also add multiple images here. Click Upload. After the upload is complete, click Close. Then scroll down, and you'll see that the last image is here, and it's checked. This is the one we just uploaded. Click Insert. I suggest in the Dimensions box you change the maximum to 1200 pixels and leave the Constrained Proportions box checked. You can also add an image description here if you'd like. Click OK. You'll see that your image has been added to your comment. And now the last step, the most important one, make sure that you click the green comment button here to upload your homework to the Napkin Academy. We hope to see your homework soon.